Okay, guys. So in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about this book I've been reading by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it before, and so I just want to, give some of my perspective and my thought process, what I'm thinking about as I've been reading the first chapter of this book. Okay, so page 14 of this book. Um, it was the first chapter was talking about criticism and how our words can obviously hurt people. And when it's talking about criticism, it's not so much like saying, "Hey, don't like correct someone if they've done wrong." It's how you address it, your tone of voice, the words you use, stuff like that. You feel me? Um, but here's what it said at page 14. It said bitter criticism caused the sensitive Thomas Hardy, one of the finest novelists ever to enrich English literature, to give up forever on the writing of fiction. Criticism drove Thomas, excuse me if I can't pronounce the name right, Chatterton, the English poet, to suicide. So that was just one of the fewest examples that they gave in the book about how criticism can like really, really hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so, it just speaks to me that that's what the whole chapter is about. If you read the book, um, the first chapter, I mean, is just be careful with your words, man, because our words are powerful. The Bible says that there is power in our tongue. There is power in our words, man. And so, again, there's nothing wrong with correcting or, addressing something in life to your friends, your family, your partner, addressing something to them that maybe you do not like, but it's how you address it. What are the words you use? How is your demeanor? You know, all these things are important. If you go to your spouse and, say, "Hey, babe, you said or did something that hurt me," um, you can do it in a manner that is, kind of like how I just said it, like, "Hey, babe, I just want to talk to you that what you said at dinner tonight with our family kind of, hurt me. I know it was a joke, but, that joke kind of, it's sensitive to me. And so I'd appreciate it if you don't tell that joke versus like you saying, okay, that's it. You need to stop telling this joke. It's getting on my nerves, babe. And how would you like it if I started saying nasty stuff about you to our family or to my family?" You see? Like, how you approach the conversation is very important. And we got to use our words wisely because we are human beings with emotions, a heart, a soul, and we just have to be considerate of how the other feels. Or even if you're just in an argument with somebody, a friend, or maybe even just a stranger that you just met, and you guys are just, chatting about your differences. That's what I mean by argument, not, yelling and stuff like that. Because that would be the bad version that I'm talking about with this whole criticism thing that the book was talking about. You know, that's another thing that I don't really like too much on the internet, or I think I should say really is silly when whenever someone like posts some sort of argument on the internet, right? And they post it on YouTube Shorts or whatever, they'll be like, such and such destroyed such and such at this argument. Like, why do you gotta destroy him? Can we just say, hey, okay, this is what you think, but this is what I think. Why does it got to be, he destroyed this man? Because we as people should be able to accept the differences um, amongst ourselves. We're all different people, man. And so we're not going to all think the same. And so we have to be careful with our words, man. So kind of going back to what I was saying with if you're in an argument of different values, it can be like I said, okay, man, so this is what you think. This is just what I think. Can we come to an agreement? Or maybe we should just agree to disagree instead of, no, you're wrong and I'm right and that's just how it is. And if you don't think this way, you're stupid. Like, guys, we just have to be able to accept that people are different. And even if you want them to change, if you want them to see your viewpoint, I'll tell you this: criticism, being harsh, and being just rude and mean in your demeanor and how you address the conversation is not going to help them come to your side. That's also, again, what the book talks about. If you come to them harsh and with anger and just with fire and brimstone kind of just wrath in your conversation, just being overly mean and harsh for no reason, they are probably going to be more than likely to just push back even harder. Or, like you read in the passage, it can just lead them to having negative feelings in their heart and maybe feeling less good about themselves. But it's not going to help the conversation. So please, guys, be careful with your words. Be kind and considerate and respectful. Thank you.